Hello friends, this is Dr. Amarjit Kaur. I am Professor of Accounting and Business Communication at the Department of Management, Gurugram University, Gurugram, Haryana. This is my privilege to be present here to talk about corporate communication in continuity of the previous part we discussed. So in this half, we are going to talk about objectives of corporate communication and also the components of corporate communication. So this is the agenda for the next few minutes. I expect you to be with me for the coming few minutes. So first of all, we will talk about objectives of corporate communication. So friends, what are objectives of corporate communication? If you were with me in the last few minutes, you could have understand that what is corporate communication. You could have understand there are two types of corporate communication, internal and external, and the corporate communication has intention to influence the behavior of the listeners of the receiver. So we expect a preferred behavior from the stakeholders, and that's why we communicate, right? Internally as well as externally. So that becomes the prime objective of the communication, corporate communication. To be specific, the ultimate objective of corporate communication is to create awareness about the company's product, services, and to build a positive image in the mind of stakeholders. So we are trying to influence the behavior of our stakeholders by creating an image in their mind. And of course, we would want to create a positive image about our business, about our company, right? So, and reason is this, that we want our products to be sought, to be demanded, our services to be demanded. We being perceived as good company in the mind of employees, in the mind of general public, in the mind of government for that matter, right? So we want to create a positive image. The whole purpose of corporate communication is this. So how do we do that? By doing the small thing, creating awareness about the product and services. So that becomes the another sub objective of corporate communication, to improve awareness about products and services. Okay, then we expect a goal oriented action of our employees. Every company has certain mission, certain vision, and company employees need to work in a way that those goals are achieved, right? So those missions are achieved, that vision is achieved given within the given time. Nobody works differently. There's a goal congruence, the goal of an employee as an individual as well as the goal of the company as an entity, single entity. So there's a goal congruence. How does that happen? By effective corporate communication, through communication of the policies about meetings, policies about leave, policies about project, etc., etc. So that is goal oriented action. Profit oriented action is another objective of corporate communication. So as we all say, the ultimate objective of a business is to maximize the wealth, maximize the profit of a company, right? So company administration, the management expect the employees to work towards achieving those profit targets. So we are oriented the action of our team in a way that those profit targets are achieved by first of all by planning, that how much sales should be achieved, so how much sales target should be there, how many units of a product should be sold, at what price they should be sold. So what all these mean? We are orienting our employees to think that we need to sell X number of products or units, or Y number of units to achieve the profit target given to me. So we are orienting his behavior towards the expected result, which is my profit figure. Or if I want to affect the shareholders' wealth, I may target to affect my share prices. Of course, there are a couple of external factors playing a role here, but we are communicating about financial decisions, about our different decisions which we take, because financial decisions affect the message to the stakeholders, to the shareholders, and then affects subsequently affects the price of the share. So this is the objective of corporate communication. Other than that, we certainly want to be recognized as a brand. So that is another objective of corporate communication, to become more recognizable brand, better recognizable brand. Every company expects to do that, be it a small business, even a nukkad wala shop at your local locality. Even he wants that I am perceived as a good shopkeeper. He may not have a brand name. It could be Gupta store or a Vikas store or Agarwal store or any name, right? So he, even the owner of that particular shop, who is which is located at your residential area, even he is trying to create a brand in terms of keeping good quality, to be cheerful while dealing with customer, to be regular with the timings. I mean, he is opening at a particular time, shutting down at a particular time. So he is trying to be recognizable brand, right? Control external impact. External impact in situations like we discussed in the previous half, when the product is found faulty and there is a bad message going around about the product, we want to control the impact of that incidence. Some boiler exploited and some death happened, some strike happened in a company and led to the fights amongst the employees, laborers, causing damage to the goodwill of the company. So there is a message, press release, there is a corrective message, there is a speech going through, there are blogs on the social media. What all it means? We are trying to control the external impact, right? That external effect could have come through a newspaper or through a news channel talking bad about the product you sell, but the press release, the ad by you, the brochures distributed, a social message sent by you is trying to control the external impact, right? That impact may not have been created by you. There could be simply a news report talking bad about your practices or your product or service. Now, company is trying to control the impact of which was created by the external forces. And ultimately, the another and the last objective I want to discuss is that company wants to improve the employees' loyalty. They want that employees stay back with them, right? So they are loyal to the company because there's a cost of hiring, training an employee. So if there's a less turnover in a company, people are not living, without purpose, without any compelling reason. That is the employee loyalty. So company wants to create that through internal communication by assuring employees that they are here. They are here to take care of you. They are there. They are listening to you, to your problems. So that is the corporate communication, and objective is to improve the employee loyalty. Other than that, now the second part of this lecture would be about components of corporate communication. So there are a couple of components which I would like to talk. The first thing is brand awareness. So in this component, what is happening? The company is creating just the awareness about the brand through the stories, the memories, the expectation, the relationship, So basically, collectively, we are trying to create awareness about the product or the services. So it's a set of couple of things. Be it story. There are couple of companies which ask you to share the memory of you enjoyed most during your stay at a hotel. The share story of the product you used. All e-retail companies e-commerce companies, what they are doing? They are asking you to write reviews, share pictures, share stories, talk about the product. What does it mean? They are creating brand awareness through that act. So this is the component of corporate communication which is actually creating identity of the company. So this is known as corporate identity or brand awareness component of corporate communication. The second is branding itself. Once the awareness is created, right, that leads to creating identity in the mind of customers through consistent use of core values. So we just spread a message that we are the ones will never use any adulterated product. Nowadays we have many companies into beauty products or healthcare which claim that they do not use any child labor, they do not use any chemical in their product, and they keep on reinforcing this message. What are they doing? This component of corporate communication is basically targeting corporate branding, consistent use of core value. What is my core value? I am not selling any chemical in my Ayurvedic product, be it moisturizer, be it makeup, be it lipstick. I am not selling any chemical. So this is my core value, that I do care about the environment. We are using only the Ayurvedic product, herbal products in our products, right, as a raw material. So this part of corporate communication is basically creating branding. Awareness is different, branding is different. So branding actually differentiates a business from competitors, right? So how I am as a company, I am into selling some Ayurvedic product, a herbal product. So how I am different from my competitors? They may also be selling Ayurvedic products, but I may say I am using the science of Ayurveda, I am using all herbal products which are the raw material is actually produced at our own farms. We are not buying it from the outsider. So we assure you our raw material which we use in our product is organic completely, like that. So you have to think, businesses have to think what kind of branding they are intending to. But this is a consistent use of the core value they are trying to convey to the customers, right? The third component of corporate communication is corporate reputation, the credibility of a brand. Why do we pay almost 4 times more than any other smartphone for a particular brand? I don't want to name the brand for the purpose of just I'm on a social media, I'm on a public platform. We all know which brand, which smartphone I'm referring to. It is probably 10 times, 20 times more expensive than any smartphone. So why it is so? Because a brand has created a credibility in the mind of customers. And how has that happened? Through corporate communication, right? Of course, including branding. That reputation that happens after branding. So first is awareness, then is a branding, then is credibility, the reputation of the brand, right? And if any brand is able to create that credibility in the mind of customers are ready to pay many more times than any average price of that product availing or prevailing in the market, right? So reputation is that how people perceive a company. So this component of corporate communication actually affects the credibility of the company, right? Through experiences of the customers, of the employees, of the services they used. So those experiences are shared. Those product value is being shared, is brought forward through the communication, right? That's how brand credibility is established. So all three things which I discussed so far of the corporate communication are different. There are thin lines of demarcation, of course, I do agree, be it awareness to branding to reputation, but there is a different people who are into corporate communication, the head of corporate communication who develops a strategy for corporate communication, they understand the difference between these three things which I discussed. Then the other component of corporate communication is customer communication. Now the customer communication is what? Customer communication refers to the communication related to customers, which help in improving the customer satisfaction. So many of you receive emails from companies whenever they launch a new product, whenever there is a discount on the product, whenever there is certain new series of the product being launched. You will receive email, we receive phone calls, we receive messages, we receive product feedback. What is happening? That is a communication. That's a written communication, oral communication, but communication coming from the company, corporate company, corporate entity. To whom? To the customer. Why? So that to ensure there is a satisfaction in the mind of customer are aware about the new product, new services. So that particular part or the component of corporate communication is exclusively for customer. Customer means who have already purchased the product, avail the services, not the future prospective customer, the current existing customer. We receive messages from Jal board or from any electricity supplier or from a bank saying there will be disruption in the services from X time to Y time, 3 to 4 in the or 12 to 1 in the midnight. So what is that? To ensure that my customer knows my services are going to be discontinued or disrupted because of the repair, maintenance, etc., and they do not get frustrated if they log in during that hour, right? So that is exclusively to my existing customer. That message is coming from the corporate's head exclusively to the customers who are there in the database to know about anything about that delay, that hampering of or that hurdle in the services, so that it has been appreciated that they are taking care of the system simply to improve the services further in future, and that is for my well-being, right? So that is corporate communication component addressing only customer communication. The fifth head is corporate communication, brand talent. So what is brand talent? So here the companies are trying to engage and retain employees, right? So those employees who fit within the culture, those employees which are actually sharing the vision of the company, their goal is similar to the goal of the company. There's a goal congruence, there's a balance between that individual and the company. So this particular corporate communication is to ensure the quality of the employees, which is good, which is as per the mission and the values of the company, is being retained. So the good quality employees, of course, good is a subjective word here. So which means those employees which are good to the core values of the company, of the business, which are good to the practices of the company or objectives of the company, those people are retained. So here the communication goes to employees only. When we announce the best employee of the month, best employee of the week, what is that? This is a good example. Best teacher of the semester or the year, what is that? It's basically communication. We are applauding an employee for the contribution made by him as best employee. right? So this is a brand talent. So this communication is to engage and retain employee. The small example I took earlier, celebrating birthday, celebrating anniversary, celebrating, or inviting families of an employee every year during Christmas, during year end. Nowadays it is happening. Many corporates are inviting family members of the employees to dinner. They want to thank that the all employees who worked throughout the year for the growth of the company. They are acknowledged. Not only they are acknowledged, but their families are also acknowledged. They are applauded in the front of family members. So that applaud, that clap is also a communication, right? That message, that thank you very much at the time of that dinner, if CEOs delivering a speech or communicating a thank you mail or thank you note, is what? Is the corporate communication. This component is actually to engage or to retain employees. Talk about the culture of the company. So this is the fifth one. The sixth is employee engagement. So corporate communication, that part which improves the engagement of employees, right? So that their productivity is increased. So this particular component is targeting the productivity or engagement of the employee into the business operations. Why? We want to create a favorable working environment for employees, and we want to tell them, see, we know, let's say if I am into hazards business, my business we know is very risky when it comes to health or the life of an employee. So if as an employer, I am taking measures to ensure minimum or no loss of life or a loss of health at my workplace, I will be sending a mail saying I have bought this machine which is far safer than the X one or the previous one. So this particular component of corporate communication is to basically engage employee regarding the well-being of employee, which actually leads to increasing the productivity. Because if as an employee I am assured by my employer that you are working at a safe environment, the working culture is favorable to you, you will be awarded, you will be rewarded if you contribute to achieve the targets. We are taking care of your health, your family members, just giving the health insurance. A mail coming to an employee saying you and your family members are insured. What is this? This is engaging employee and telling about the well-being or the good or favorable working environment at a particular workplace, right? So this will certainly lead productivity improvement in the in that company. The next is employee productivity. So the goal of this particular communication is to create culture where employees feel empowered. How would an employee feel empowered? Just think about it. An employee will feel empowered in a situation where he or she has a say in decision making, right? So let's say I am working in a company as a sales head, and my sales team, my sales executive who are going to different parts of the country, sharing with me the information about the demand of that product in different regions, geographical regions. So if as a manager I am giving my right to my employees, which is my sales team spread across the continent or across the geographical area, they are empowered to write and give a fair feedback without any hesitation that this product is selling hot or not selling at all, is in demand or not, why, this is my understanding. So what is happening? Here employee is empowered, right? And since my juniors are empowered, I have the fair information as a sales manager. What will I do? As a sales manager, I will share this information with my sales head, maybe country sales head, and tell him to discontinue X product, to increase the production of Y product, to brought in a new product, Z product, etc., etc. So from lowest level to the top level, information is flowing. That is corporate communication component, leading to empowerment of employees. Right? Decentralization. In a memo, a notice been issued that up to 10,000 rupees a manager can decide about the expenditure without consulting the next head. Wow, this is also empowering, example of empowering. And the communication, which is a notice only, a memo only, right? So this is how we improve employee productivity, and this component of corporate communication intends to achieve organizational goal through increasing productivity by empowering employees. I hope you could understand that. These were the components of corporate communication. Thus, we covered objectives as well as components of corporate communication in this part. I hope you could understand this topic very well. I appreciate your presence, your company. Thank you very much.